Hi, we are here for our noon. I had a little bit of trouble getting in because I had to find, we were trying to test earlier. Oh, I see I don't have any viewers. Okay, let's go back. Here we go. I'm going to try to get set up on my iPad so that I can read your comments. Hi, welcome. I see I have one viewer. Let's see, we can put something in here. Let me go ahead and start this up so that I can see your comments. Let's see here if I can find. Be patient with me for just a second. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Okay, it is not coming up yet. Let's see. Let's do hi. Okay, I see a couple people. Hi, Miss Glowful. Hi, Kate McMillan. How are you? Okay, so now I can see some chat. And I can see Tanya. Welcome. Okay, so I have a couple, and now I do realize that I'm the only one who sees it backwards on my viewer. I did look at the recordings that we were messing around with yesterday, and saw that was only the way that I was seeing it. So while it's a little distracting, I do know that it doesn't look that way to you guys. So that's good. I'd hate for you to have to read everything backwards too. So. Let's see, do we have a couple more people? Great, Miss Glowflow's here. So I think we've got a few. We've got 4 now. And there is about a 30 to 60 second delay. And so, anyways, I have a few things that we could work on, that we could play with today. So we can either. Now, I deleted the other videos because they were just, full of me trying to figure out what was going on, and it was just kind of a hot mess. So we can either go over how to do the triple flip that was in my last album, my Bo Bunny album, and this is the one that we did yesterday, and we can recreate this one together. Or I can teach you guys how to make this little box out of a sheet of paper, and this little accordion that comes out like this, and you can click it together this way. Let's see. You can put it together like this, and if you get the pages right, then it looks like a star pattern sitting up on your desk or up on your counter, and it just slips into the box like that. Or we can play around. Let's see. Let me go ahead and refresh. Or we can play around with how to make these little silicone molds. Little molds like this that you can make your own castings. And I think Jane, Velocity Vet 08, did something like this. I don't know if she made the molds on her channel or if she just used them. But I can show you how to do both if you like that. So I'll go ahead and let's see if we can refresh. I'm not getting anything. You guys let me know what sounds better, what you guys want to play with today. Okay, so we've got either the triple flip or the little, we'll call this the accordion and box, or we can do silicone molds, or actually we could do, this is one of those ones that I showed online that I was supposed to finish. This is a larger one. We had done the original one. This one was for the little blue house, and I covered it in glitter, and it was an altered Altoids tin, and so I made this one, and I showed this one online. And then this has the same little accordion out that comes all the way out, except for I had planned on doing it in a larger tin that was from Michael's. And you know, I can give you dimensions and show you how to make this. And what's neat about this one is it comes all the way out. So it's a lot easier to decorate. And it's also easier to view than the ones that stay in there. Let's see. So let me read up all the comments. Let's see. Miss Glowflow wants to see us make the box, and Tanya would like the molds, and all the projects sound good to Kate. Okay, so it looks like we have either the box or the molds. Did you guys already kind of catch how to do the triple flip? I'm guessing. You know, who knows? We might actually, the molds probably take a little longer. So I think maybe, let's see. They all look fun. If we, that's good, Tanya. Okay, so let's go ahead and, you know what? I have all the pieces cut for this one because I had planned on making a video for you guys. So we'll go ahead and we will put the molds aside. And actually, let me get those back to the bag because otherwise I might lose one of them. I make a bunch of these, and then look at how cute. Look at the skull and crossbone. Isn't he cute? Ooh, you're getting a little bit of glare. He's a little backwards too. Whoops. Left is right and right is left for me. So he's really cute. He makes a great mold. Air dry clay. But you can also use hot glue in your silicone molds too, which is kind of cool. Okay, let's see. Refresh. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with this one. And once you guys learn how to make the accordion fold and how to attach it together, which is super easy, by the way, then you can make any of the accordion folds. And if we get through this one on how to make this, which I'm sure we will, we can make this accordion fold, and then I can show you how to make the outer box. That's kind of like the box of cards. And then you could just make your box to fit around the album that you made. So let's go ahead and get started on that. Let me get my cutter ready, and because I'm going to use my little one, I'm not going to use my big rotor trim on here because it takes up a large area. So let's go ahead and, yeah, sorry about all the racket. So what we're going to need to do is we are going to, let me check the comments real quick. I'm still having to read the comments off of my iPad. Let's see here. All right, let me turn my phone ringer off too. All right, so I try to utilize 8.5 by 11-inch paper because it's easy to find and it's less expensive. Usually 2 sheets of 8.5 by 11 is still cheaper than by a long shot than the 12 by 12. So I'm using Recollections Black here because I like it. Now there's another one that I'm going to be getting in from Vicki over at Flossy Scrapper. That's really amazing, super thick weight, and is super durable, but it hasn't got in yet. But I'm excited to use that. But this one is really easy to find. It's just the Smooth Recollections Black. It comes in a 50-pack from Michael's. Okay, so what we're going to do is these are going to measure, let me get this over here. These are cut to 4.5. Now, if you wanted to maximize it, if you're just testing out, you can go ahead and cut yours to 4.25. That way you're getting 2 long strips, I think. Let's see, let me double check how many I got out of this. Okay, I see the seam here. Let me do a little bit of measuring here to make sure. So yes, I did 4.5 by 11, but if you want to save on your paper, and then you can do the, actually, we're going to go ahead and do that one. Let me get your paper. I am going to give that one as an example, and let's see, we have how many sections here? We have 4 ends in each section, so we've got 1, 2, let me see my seams, they're kind of hard to see, so there's 1, and there's 2, and there's 3, and we need 4, so 2 sheets of paper. Sorry about that, flipping all around. Let's see if I can see the chat. Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and take our cutter, and this is the Precision, and so like I said, in order to just kind of save time and save paper, I'm going to just cut these at 4.25 straight down the middle. So we will have, I've got two pieces of paper here, and so I'm going to get all 4 of mine on a single cut. So we are going to go to 4.25 and by 11, and I got my new green Martha Stewart board, which I absolutely love. Now, I did not write down any of the dimensions on these. You'll have to forgive me. I was not quite prepared. So let me go ahead and make sure what they are. So we are at 2 3/4 at our scores. So let's go ahead, and on our long ways, we've got 4.25 by 11, and we're going to go to 2 3/4, and then the next one will be 5.5, and then we add 2 3/4 to that again. Is that correct? Yes. So we've got, let me make sure, that would be 1, 2, and 1 2 3/4, and then this would be 1, 2, and 1 2 3/4, so 8.25, 2 7 5, 5.5, 8.25, and then we would go to let's see, we've got, let's see, so that would be 1 2 and 1 2 3, and well, that can't possibly be right. I know that sounds crazy, but they need to have at least a 1/4 inch overlap, and so I'm trying to figure out exactly what I did different here. Why, oh why? Like I said, I haven't done this one in about 2 months, and so I don't have my measurements, but let's see here. That doesn't make any sense. We need that extra little bit there. So 1 2 3. Let me see if I can see my seams on here, gals. This doesn't make any sense why these would not be matching up. Not unless maybe I use 12-inch paper. 1 2 3 4. So if these wrap over this way, so that is definitely more than, oh darn. I don't know, maybe is it possible that I used, maybe I did use 12-inch paper. Well, you definitely have to have something to hook it to, and it looks like my measurements are right. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a slight adjustment, because I know that these are right, aren't they? They are right. So I tell you what we're going to do. We are going to back it a little bit down, and so let's go to, let's write these down. See, this is why I don't do live, is because because I'm a planner. I like to stop and make sure I have all my measurements, and I don't have to worry about making mistakes, so y'all have to forgive me. I would recommend taking notes on this one because that's a little embarrassing. I'm probably going to end up deleting this video too. Okay, so we've got, we had 2 3/4, and we had 5 1/2, and we had 8 1/4. And we had, so what we're going to do is, in order to have a little bit of tab to connect to the next section, we're going to go down a little bit. So we're going to go down to 2 5/8, and that means that we're going to come down to 5 1/4, and that means that we're going, I believe so, and then that means this one will come down to I believe it'll be 7 7/8. Let's go ahead and double check that. So 2 5/8 and 5 1/4. We're just going to go ahead and see if my math is right. I usually have to sit down and figure out my math. And then this one will go to, let's see, that'll be 1 2 and 1 2 3 and, okay, so in 10 1/2. 10 1/2. So we have 2 5/8, 5 1/4, 7 7/8, 10 1/2. And I know that's difficult. I think it would be easier if we used the 12-inch. I'll have to get back with you guys on that one. So we're going to fold away from, I think it just takes, you know, Jane is so used to being live. Well, she's not live, but she crafts live, and I never craft live because I'm not very good at it. But I think it is fun to have an area where you guys can come in and you can share and chat. Okay, so it looks like all of our measurements lined up just right, although they'd be just a little bit off. I think you need to use your scores. They keep on kind of trying to cascade a little bit. Okay, so there's that. So let's go ahead and go with that dimension, those dimensions right there. So we have 2 5/8, so scratch this. We've got 2 5/8, 5 1/4, 7 7/8, 10 1/2. Okay, let me check the comments, see what I'm missing. Oh, good, Kate, you like the live feed. Yes, and I do struggle with measurements, but and that's why it takes me so long to come up with the patterns, because I come up with them and then I change them a couple times, and then I have to go back and I have to check them again, and then I check them again, and then I send the pattern to my mom and I have her check it and I have my aunt check it, and so hopefully we have not had a typo on the measurements on any of the patterns yet, because we try to be very diligent about double checking that, but I absolutely make mistakes on mine, but that's all part of it. And thank you, Miss Glofo, for giving my my mistakes. Do you like YouTube or Ustream Live? I would say I think I would prefer the Ustream because it's easier to see the chat. My husband and I were working today, this morning, trying to figure out why I can't see the chat in my window, and I think maybe the answer is to talk to Jane and find out what she figured out, because I'm just not one of those people that will sit down and read 20 pages worth of information. You know, I only did this because I was excited about Jane's show and I couldn't see her, and when I did finally see her, I didn't see that she could see what we were doing. What we were typing, and so I wanted to see what it looked like. The only reason why I started this yesterday is because I wanted to see what it looked like from her end, so that I would, you know, be able to I don't know, maybe even help. But from what you guys said, she figured it out. And so that's probably what I need to do is just ask Velocity Vet what she did. So I think I would prefer Ustream though, because that one I know is just kind of plug and play. It's like you just hit the record button and all of the chat's right there. So I would be able to just glance over at the screen and see exactly what y'all are saying. And it's got less of a time delay. I know some people have a problem with Ustream though. So we are going to keep on trying the YouTube. Yes, and the scoring board, uh, is it Nitsan Akri? I'm probably slaughtering your name, but I'm going to try anyways. But that is the green Martha Stewart. This is a limited edition scoreboard, and even though I have the original right here, I just have been dying to get this green one, and since so many of my students in my classes forget to bring their scoreboard, or they show up with the little mini Martha Stewart, which I think is really cute, and I almost bought it a couple times, but the problem is that, you know, it stops at just at 6 or just over 6 inches, and if you've ever bought any of my patterns and you see anything that I do, I never just use 6 inches. I mean, that's great for a card maker, but paper crafting, you really do need the full board. So my students either don't bring a scoreboard, or they bring the mini one, or they bring a score pal, which has completely different kind of crazy measurements. They're card maker measurements. I shouldn't say crazy, but they are not every 1/8 of an inch, and so it can cause a lot of problems. So that's how I justified getting my green one. Even though my original board will never wear out, I had to, you know, we have to justify our purchases, and so I'm so glad I got my pretty green one, and look at how cute the black looks on there. So adorable. Love it, love it, love it. So let me go ahead and check the rest of the comments here. Let's see, snow. You guys have got snow. Well, there is no snow in Texas. Thank goodness. There was definitely ice though last Tuesday. Oh no, I take that back. We had snow on Tuesday. But we're in northern Texas too. So let's see if I missed anything. Okay, great. I think we're all caught up. And so let's go ahead and I put that away. This one is a boo-boo, and we're going to put that one aside. And this one we're going to put over here, and we're going to continue on. And I put my scoreboard away, and I need it again. Okay, so we're going to do all 4 of our sections. We're going to do 2 5/8, and we're going to do 5 1/4, and we're going to do 7 7/8, and we're going to do 10 1/2. And I'm using, this is a tool taxi. This was, I got this on clearance last year before at Michael's, and yeah, I mean, it's already wearing off. It's by Fiskars. It has like glue in one end, and then it's got a stylus here, which is nice. I love the stylus on this, but if you pull this out, you can reverse it over, and it's got a craft blade, which I don't use, but it's really nice when I go to crop, because I don't have to bring a blade as well. I can bring one tool. And also in the cap here, it's kind of cool because it's got a teeny weeny pair of tweezers, and whoops, dropping that. And it's also got that little burnishing tool with a flat end. It's kind of like, and it can also double as like a flat head, a standard size screwdriver. And this will fit onto the end of that, and then the tweezers are just loose. But those fit into the top, and they get stored up there. Now, and it had an eraser on there, but it broke off during one of the crops. And this is glue in here, but I've never, it glued itself shut. I don't know, in storage or whatever. I never did, get to use the glue, but that's okay because it works really well as a stylus. But let's go ahead and tighten that up. But I do recommend, I don't recommend using the scoring tool, because sometimes it can rip your paper because it has too sharp of an edge. You'll get a much better score if you use a stylus ball tip. And you can see about the dimension of mine. You don't want them too tiny, but if they get too big, like some of the other Martha Stewart's, and by the way, I did buy the Martha Stewart ones. You can see this one has a tape down because I had it in class, and I was basically saying, okay, this end is too large to use, don't use it. Don't use the tape downs. And these are just, they're not smooth, they're kind of like brushed nickel. It came in a set of 2, and I got to tell you, I am not thrilled with it as using it as a stylus. It can make decent flowers, but it's kind of like a brushed nickel, so when you rub it on your paper, it has some resistance to it. It's not smooth like this one. So I'm not actually crazy about these. They do feel good, they're kind of rubberized, but I'm not real crazy about them. This one, I think this was Memory Keepers. I can't remember. But this is a nice heavy one, and this one has 2 tips on it too. And I do like this one. And this one's a little small to be using, but this one's just about perfect. And so I like using this one as well. And I have a few others here and there. Anywho, so let's go ahead and finish our scoring. We've got a couple more. Let's see, we've got 1, 2. Oh, I'm short one because I messed up that first one. And so let me cut 1 more. Well, and in cutting 1 more, I magically get 2 more. Isn't that cool? Okay, so we've got 2 5/8, 5 1/4, 7 7/8. Get out of the way, 10 1/2. Okay, and my stylus, I was messing with the tight tension on it, and it got loose. Again, we're going to do our 4th one. We're going to do 2 5/8, 5 1/4, 7 7/8, 10 1/2. Okay, so we've got those. We'll put away our pretty green scoreboard. Let me check the comments real quick. Let's see. All right. Gary, Indiana, Pennsylvania. Okay. Everybody's chiming in from where they reside. Oh, Gordy Angel. Now you said that I saw it in the comments. Now you're in the UK, right? Am I saying that right? Jordy Angel. You said you're in the UK, and you said you had a special needs son as well who is now 24. Is that correct? I know it's going to take a 30-second delay for you to hear that, but you know, it's nice. It's nice to hear somebody who's a special needs mom as well. It's yeah, we all got to stand together. Yeah, well, actually, you know, moms, period, special needs children or not. We should all be supporting one another. Oh, you said that Jane used 2 computers. Ah, so me using my iPad, maybe that helps as the second computer. Okay, let's see. Okay. I think we are all caught up. Let's see if we have a... Let's see. Okay, let's get going. I'm all caught up on that. Yeah, I think I might like to kind of give, okay, you know, I just did this without saying anything to you guys, but what I'm doing is I'm folding it one way. Now I'm going, you should be scoring away, folding away from your score, but since I scored all of these on the same side, which I shouldn't have, I'm actually, these, in order for them to accordion, I have to do 1 under, 1 over, 1 under, 1 over. So I'm actually, this one, I'm actually scoring, I am folding this one toward my score line, which I should not be doing. So you might want to flip them over, and we will work out those measurements. And I'm lining these up to make sure that these edges are even. These folded edges are even. Again, I think it's, and I've said this through all of my tutorial videos, use your scores as a guide. You know what I mean? But you always want to line up your page with the rest of your page. You want to always line those up because that's where your eye is going to go. Okay, so we're going to fold them over. And I love my Teflon bone folder. Oh, I love that thing. I don't know why I kept on holding back. Sometimes I get a little bit too cheap, you know. You have to invest in some good tools, you know, in order to really, good tools can really help you enjoy your craft. And so you guys be nice to yourselves and go ahead and get the right one the first time. If this is something you really love, it's probably not going to go away anytime soon. If you really get, if paper crafting really gets, just really makes you happy, you might as well just invest in the tools because you're hopelessly addicted, you know. You too, if you are not already, will become a paper hoarder, a tool hoarder, and all of that. Pretty funny stuff. Okay, so we've got all of our sections together. Let me check the comments real quick. And let's see. Let's see. Jordy Angel says it's 6:30 p.m. there. I was hoping that it would be a good time for the UK. And thank you, Jordy Angel. We do stand together. Let's see. Oh, and we have someone from Israel. It's even later there. Let's see. So Pennsylvania, South Wales, Jordy Angel, South Wales. Let's see. Okay, so I think we're all caught up on that. And what we're going to do here now is we're just going to glue these together. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put this one in here. Okay, let me line these up. So I'm going to take, we've got our 1/2 inch tabs here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach a 1/2 inch tab to the other end of this that does not have the 1/2 inch tab. So, and of course, you know me, I'm going to use glue. So let's go ahead, and we don't want to get right up on that crease because we don't want glue right there on that fold. We want to come back. We want our paper to come back off of that, and you want to keep your glue about 1/8 of an inch from that. And see, I still used a little bit too much glue, but we're going to have good pressure, and we're going to use, I use a cuticle stick to really get into that tiny little crease. This is one of those tools that really make using glue a lot more livable. And you can just drag that into that tiny little corner. If you get any extra seepage with glue, it's so much better to use a tiny little tool with a flat end like this to kind of remove it. Because no matter, even if you use your fingernail, you're still going to get some smudge. So try to use the tool. Plus, it'll save your fingernails. So it can absolutely make glue far more livable and controllable. And so here we go. So we've got 2 sections put together. Let's go ahead and add a third. And we're going to go ahead and add this one here. Don't need a ton of glue, but we don't want to get too stingy. We definitely want to come all the way up to the top and bottom edges. And in order to make sure that you have not gone over your seam here, you should fold that together to make sure that it still folds well. Because if you go over top of that seam, see, I even lost it. If you go over top of that seam, oh, it's on the back. Haha, there it is. Then they won't. It'll interrupt that crease right there. And so we've got 3 sections together. 1 more to go. So, and you can see what I'm doing here is that I'm matching up a mountain and a mountain. Now it's black, so it's hard to see. But I've got a mountain, and then I'm putting the valley and the valley together. You see how that works? Let's see. Can you see how that works? And so we want to make sure that we do that because we've already made our creases on here. So if you get that a little backwards, then you just might have to flip around your creases in order to get the accordion fold. Again, it's not a deal breaker. This is just 2 sheets of cardstock, so it's definitely okay to have a little bit of loss when it comes to this. This is just for practice, you know, losing 2 sheets of cardstock, even if it was a total loss, which I doubt that it would be. It's only 2 sheets of cardstock. It's not even our pretty fancy paper. So we're going to put all of these together, and let's see, let me try to. They're going to need a little bit of adjustment. You can see here that they're kind of, maybe you can see that they're kind of sloped here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to ease them over and line them up best I can. And I'm going to try to make them as even as possible. And I'm just pushing them down with my thumb, if you can see that, if I'm on camera. And I'm just kind of training them to lay right where I want them. And so I'm just going to go ahead and give that a nice crease to kind of reset those so that they're as straight as possible. And so this is much straighter. It's slightly off here, but that's okay. It's much closer. So we won't be needing this extra tab that's on the end because there's nothing we're connecting to that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just trim it off. And so I'm going to just use my craft knife, and this is the Westcott, and it's kind of a grippy one. I've heard that the Martha Stewart one is a really good one too. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to line up my metal edge. Make sure to use the metal edge, otherwise you'll chop away at your acrylic ruler. And I'm taking away the entire score line, that entire crease. If you can see that, you kind of can. Okay, so there's that. Now this is going to be, like I said, we try to maximize our paper here because we're just testing. But let me take that out there. So this is going to be a little shorter than what I had done before. It's going to be a little shorter and a little less wide. And I do think that the only way that I could have had the measurements from before, the 2 3/4, let me go ahead and write those down again, because if you are using 12 by 12 paper and you want it to fit the Michaels tin exactly, go ahead and do your 12 by 12 paper, and you'll need 2 sheets of it, and you're going to cut them at 4 1/2 inches by go ahead and do the 12 inches, and they will be scored at 2 3/4, 5 1/2, 8 1/4, and let's see, what was the 4th measurement on that? Let me see. Let's see, we had it right here. No, that was the 11. Okay, so let me figure out that last measurement, just in case you guys do want it to fit in there exactly, that you won't have to do the math. So that was 2 3/4, 5 1/2, 8 1/4, and that would be 9, 10, and that's 11. Let me double check this. And this one goes to, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, well, I think I'm going to just have to do another measurement of this for you guys later. I guess the planning goes a long way, but you get the general idea. You guys can manipulate these, but I will go ahead and give you the final measurements once I have time to sit down and play around with that, so that you guys don't have to do the math. Checking comments here. Let's see. Oh, the wet glue. I use the Scotch Quick Dry. It's right here. It's Scotch Quick Dry. It's a great glue. One of the things, if you are in the States, well, even if you're not in the States, if you have the option, they sell it in a 2-ounce bottle, and they also sell it in a 4-ounce bottle. Now at Joann's here, at least here in Texas and probably through the United States, this little 2-ounce bottle costs you $5.99. And over at Michael's, you can get the 4-ounce bottle. Well, they have both over at Michael's, but you can get the 4-ounce bottle for $6.99. So for $1 more, you can get twice the amount of glue. Now, what I do is whenever I go into Michael's, and I typically buy everything that's already on sale, and so a lot of times I have, you know, my 40% off coupon that I already got everything on sale, so I don't really need it for anything, and so I will use it for my glue, and that brings my glue down to like 4 something. A bottle for a double bottle, and so I highly recommend getting that 4-ounce bottle if you are a glue user like me, because you go through these really fast, so I do use the Scotch Quick Dry, and I put mine into this is a bottle made by Doris, and it comes in a 6-pack. You can get it at eBay, you can get it on Amazon, I think you can get Joann's.com, but these are great little bottles. I use them for all kinds of stuff. Like I even have my Beacon 3-in-1 into one, and this, because my Beacon 3-in-1, I buy the big bottle of it because this is how I do my covers, and how I attach my big pieces of chipboard. When I need a little extra time to settle everything in and smooth it out, the Quick Dry dries too quickly and you see streaks. So that's when I use my 3-in-1. 3-in-1 is also really good for gluing down embellishments. I used to only use the E6000, but the Beacon 3-in-1 works pretty well, and it's easier to manipulate if you put it in a smaller bottle. This big bottle, sometimes it just keeps on coming and coming and coming. So the trick to using, I should tell you, there's a trick to using Beacon 3-in-1. So let's say that I needed to apply glue to this. So you typically have to shake it all the way down, and you're going and you're putting it on, and then you get to the end, right? And then you turn it up, and it just keeps on coming. It's like a little lava flow. So the way to get around that is when you're putting your glue on, when you're about halfway done, start tilting it up, like straight up and down, and you're starting to move that air bubble slowly towards the end, and just as you're finishing squeezing it out, that bubble's right there, that air bubble is right there to stop the flow. So you turn it over, you get the glue to the end, put on half the amount and start tilting it sideways. Start turning the bottle horizontally, and that'll keep your glue from kind of just oozing out all over the place. It definitely took me a while to figure out how to keep that just from flowing and creating a huge mess. When I use it for embellishments, I don't need that much, so it's nice to have it in this tiny little bottle. And as a lot of you know, this is my favorite glitter tip. This is made by Art Glitter, and it self-threads. It's metal, and it self-threads right onto the end of the bottle. Now, I should tell you that the new bottles of Scotch Quick Dry, they do not have the old bottles. Let me show you one of the old tips. I even put I kept my old tips because I like them so well. The old tips were these red tips, and they were on the bottles before, and these little metal tips will screw onto that red tip, but this tip, the new tip, is too large, and the glitter tips will not screw onto that. So if you guys have any of your old Scotch Quick Dry bottles, save those tips. Even when the bottle is empty, save those tips, because as you can see, it's a standard size tip and it'll screw onto another bottle. So when I don't really like to work from a big bottle. I like the smaller bottles in my hand. It's like an extension of my hand. It's just really easy to handle, and it's smaller to take to crop. So when I need to do a large area, I use the red tip, and when I need to do a small area, I use my precision tip, my metal tip. Okay, let me see. I answered that question. It took forever, huh? Okay, let's see. Where were we? Let's see. So I hope that helps you, Kate. Let's see. Oh, Miss Glowflow, don't worry. You know what? I think I'm probably going to save this video. You know, it has some mistakes in it, but I am going to continue to record here for probably another 10-15 minutes. And let's see here. See if we can find any more comments. Let's see. Score tape, yeah, score tape is expensive, and you know, there's score tape has some issues if you're using it with something structural or something that has interaction. Because if you guys have ever made a pocket and you use score tape, and you made a little tag that slid in and out of that pocket, and you've noticed that 2 weeks later or 2 months later or whatever, that tag got stuck in that pocket. Now, a lot of people know not to use score tape in the bottom of a pocket because your tags always get stuck. But if you think about the reason why the tag got stuck in the pocket, that's kind of an important thing. Now, what happened, if you can imagine, you've got your pocket and you've got your page and you've got score tape in between them. Now, over time, sometimes it only takes a couple of weeks, sometimes it takes a couple months. But over time, your score tape started to loosen, which made your pages separate. That's why your tag was able to slip down in there. Oops, sorry. Slip down in there and get stuck in that tape, is because the score tape started letting loose. So keep that in mind, that score tape is not necessarily a permanent thing. It's fun to use. I love it. I have a whole drawer full of it, but I do not use it on any place where it has to stick, and it cannot relax, and it cannot let loose, and it cannot be susceptible to temperature and humidity fluctuations, which do affect any kind of dry adhesive like score tape, double-sided tape, ATG, red line tape. All of those are dry adhesives, and temperature and humidity do affect those. They do not affect glue, and so glue is going to be your safer bet. So let's see, what else were we at with the glue? Okay, good. I think we are all cut up on those. You hate watching glue dry. That's funny, Miss Glowflow. The metal tips for the glue, you can find these at Joann's.com. You can find them at Amazon.com. I would not recommend ordering directly through artglitter.com because they're full price and they've got a high shipping. I think that Vicki might have these glitter tips on flossyscrapper.com too, and she has free shipping. So, but sometimes you can get them on sale, but you can get them on eBay. But they're called precision tips, metal precision tip. And they are made by Art Glitter, but I don't know that you have to get ones that are made by Art Glitter. Oh, and there's one other thing I want to tell you guys. Now, a friend of mine had gone to Joann's, and she wanted some glitter tips, and she found this little set. Okay. Excuse me. You can't see in the package, but you can see down here in the corner, there are 2 tips down here, and there's 2 bottles, and, you know, it looks like a neat little set for $3.50. Okay, so these are, I bought 2 sets of them, and they were only $3.50 for 2 full sets, and I thought, oh my gosh, that's such a great deal. Well, I went ahead and I put them in the bottles, and I got them all ready, my other set, and I put the tips on there, and one of them's large and one of them's small. Okay, let me go ahead and show you those up close. One of them is large, and one of them's large and one of them's small. And the only problem is they are not a standard size. Well, that's not the only problem. That's the first problem with these, is that they don't hold a standard pin. And so, you know, you've got to keep track of this very specialized size tip on there. And they're not as easy because they're angled like that and they don't have a tip on them. You know, they're harder to keep track of. But here's the thing. So I put these in the bottles. And 5 days later, I went to crop and I went to class. I take that back. I took them to class and I got extra tips because I thought my students would really like to use them. Well, the problem is this. when we went to go pull the tip out of there, look at what happened. It had completely rusted and turned black. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? Can you see that? Let me see if I can put it down on my hand so you can see. It's right down there in the crease. Let me put it right here. Okay, do you see that this is the only part? Now that happened in 5 days. And here's the other thing. It was really, really hard to get it out because it had started to rust itself in there. And it turned the glue, this dark charcoal, nasty gray, and was completely, it wouldn't even squirt out of there hardly because it was completely congested with a huge ball of like rust. So these are totally, totally a no-go. Do not waste your time. Do not buy them because the only thing this package is good for are the little plastic bottles. So if you want the bottles, then yay, go for it. I don't know. You know, I suppose I could, let's see, it says it says use with acrylic paint, fabric paint, and glues. Okay, it most definitely does not react well with Scotch glue. I can tell you that right now. Maybe it's okay for acrylic paint and fabric paint, but it does not work with Scotch quick dry glue. So, buyer beware on those. If you're buying it for this purpose, they're only really good for the bottles. So, and you can get a whole pack of 6 bottles of the Doris bottles, I think, for $3. So it's cheaper if you're just looking for the bottles to just buy the Doris. So there's a little buyer beware. So I would go ahead and buy those online. Let's see when. Let's answer. I like you guys being able to ask the questions, and I'm able to go into depth. About, let's see, we're still live. Good. It's refreshing right now. Okay. This glow flow about the no, you know what? You just especially if I'm going to give something away, I'm definitely going to use glue to a non-crafter that cannot fix it, that doesn't know how to fix it. Okay, so now we're back to this now. So there's our little accordion, and I'm going to show you guys really quickly before I start to decorate. I think I've got some other stuff going on. We're still at 13. We're holding at 13. I am going to, let's see if I have one of these open. Let's see. Is this one glued up? Oh, that's a tall one. And this is a short one. Let's see. Maybe we can make one. See, this one's a little tall for this box, but maybe with the dimensions I just gave you, I can also help you make a box to fit. So this width is fine, and but we need to increase the height. So let's go ahead and do some math together. And so you guys will get, because I didn't have this math, I didn't know what we should play with today, and I wanted to kind of give you guys options, and I didn't have a whole lot of time to plan this out. I was working with my boy yesterday. He had kind of a hard afternoon, poor guy. So what we're going to do is I'm going to get some rough measurements really quickly. And if I can find a pen. I know I just had a pencil out here somewhere. I think it got buried. Which happens. I'm sure y'all are familiar with that. All your stuff is like, where did it go? Where's it under? Okay, so I like the width of this, and we have these at 3 inches. So we've got 3 inches on the front, 3 inches on the back, an inch on either side, and an inch for wraparound. So we've got 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we've got a 9-inch wide, okay, and we are going to score at 1 inch. We're going to score at 4 inches. We're going to score at 5 inches, and then we're going to score at 8 inches, okay. And then on our height, we want to go, let's see, that we've got an inch there, and so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6.5, but we said that this one So this box is 6.5 because this little tab comes down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5. Now this one we need to be a 1/2 inch taller. So let's go to a 7 inches tall. And we are going to score at 1/2 inch for this top. And then we're going to score at 1.5 inches because we need an inch here. And then we are going to score at, we needed, this is for, we need 4.5, so 4.5 plus an inch and a half, 5.5, 6, and that should be it. All right, so let's go ahead and test. If you can see my chicken scratch here. Let's go ahead and see. Okay, let's see. Uh-oh. Okay, this glow flow might have lost me. Oh no, Amy. Okay, where did you get your box? Oh, this box, we are making this box right now. Let's see. Let's see. Yes, and Tanya, I do keep the pins in the glue. Now, on my glitter tips, on my art glitter tips, I leave these pins in there all the time. Okay, but I use my glue a lot. So if you don't use your glue a lot and it just sits in there for months, I don't know how that works because I've never had glue sit there for months because I use so much of it, and I'm a crafting maniac. I'm always playing with something. I mean, you would not believe how many albums are all over this room. It's ridiculous. I mean, I've got those floating shelves of IKEA, and they're like 8 feet long and yeah, close to it. So no, they're 7 feet long. 7 feet long, and I've got multiple ones, and they are completely packed. I mean, you cannot get one more thing up there, and it's all albums. So, so that long story long, I don't leave mine in there. I'm always moving mine because I'm always using them. And, you know, I have a class at least once a month, and so all of mine get used at least once a month. I think I rotate through them. You know, when one starts running out, I just grab another one. I have about 5 of these with the glitter tips on there on my desk all the time. But they will eventually start rusting out, and as soon as these pins start rusting out, you don't try to fix it. You just get rid of the pin safely. But I bought this over at Joann's, and I just bought a big pack of quilting pins. And I just get rid of it. Once it starts to rust, you're not going to be able to stop it from rusting. Now the copper ones, you can get some fancy copper ones for quilting that kind of minimize the chances of rusting. But from what I understand and the research I've done, they all will eventually rust. And so even the copper ones are more expensive, but that doesn't mean they're not going to, because they're not solid copper. Okay, because they'd be too soft. So they're like coppered in the center. Anywho, so I just went ahead and, you know, I spent like $4 and I got this huge pack of them. And so when one of them starts to go, when one of them starts to get a little bit of rust, then I make sure I clean out and I push it through the other side. I remove this off, I untwist it, and I push through the other side and I clean it all out. And you can soak them in water, and then because this is stainless steel, and then I just toss the pin. You know, I keep all of mine in a case, and I keep all of my blades and pins together, and then once that little case gets full, then I throw that away. Just make sure you don't throw them away in your trash, otherwise it's going to get somebody in the hand when they push down the trash or something. Yeah, when they start rusting, get rid of the pin and just start with a new pin. And that's what I do, and honestly, I think that's the easiest solution to, you know, your pins rusting. But try to get one that has a standard size pin. Not like those packages that I showed you before. That's not going to work well for you. I mean, mine didn't even leave. You know, there's also another thing that somebody told me, if you're going to leave them in there, and they do this with their glossy accents, they take, you know how on price tags they have those little plastic pieces, and those are just about the same width as the same diameter as a pin. And I have seen people take that little plastic piece and they can slip it down in there, and you know, they leave the little tag piece sticking out, and that's what they pull it in and out with. But that will never rust. It's a little harder to deal with than you know, to pull in and out, and you kind of got to make sure you get it straight. But that one won't rust. So if you're going to leave them for long times, try that. Just take, you know, next time you buy a piece of clothing that has one of those little tags, just take the tag and put it in your tip. Okay, let's see. All right, so I think we're caught up on the question. Is your box about the same size of the deck of cards? Yes. Yes. Okay, thanks for the tip. Okay, so I think we're caught up on that, so get your extra pins. All right, let's go ahead and test our measurements, gals. I like being able to see your comments. That's fun. It takes me a little longer to read them and with the delay and all, but it's still pretty neat. Still pretty neat. Okay, so let's get a sheet of colored cardstock. Let's go ahead and do some green for St. Patty's Day. So here I'm using the Recollections, and it's got all the shades of green here, and I am going to go with a Kelly green. Ooh, that Kelly green really looks strange on that aqua board, doesn't it? Okay, so we need to cut our piece to 9" by 7". I'm going to cut it on my rototrim. And we will see if I got my measurements correct. Cross your fingers, ladies. Cross your fingers. Okay, so on our 9" width, we are going to score at 1 inch, 4 inches, 5 inches, and 8 inches. Okay, and then we are going to rotate it. Let's see. Doesn't matter. It does not matter which way we rotate it. And we're going to score at, so you can go clockwise or counterclockwise, doesn't matter. Now we're going to do a 1/2 inch. We're going to do 1.5 inch, and we're going to do 6 inch. Okay, so let it focus in on that. That's about what you should have. Boy, it does not want to focus. Okay, let's see. If we can scroll across, it's still not doing it. Maybe if I put my hand right in the center. It likes to focus in on the nails most of the time. Okay, so you can see about what we've got there. Maybe I should go ahead and I'm going to draw lines on this. I know it's going to mess it up, but that's okay. It's worth it for you guys to be able to see it properly. Whoops. Good thing I don't need this one. Holy moly. So I'm going to go ahead and draw those on there. All right. So this is what we've got. Come on, camera. I don't know how much that helped. Okay, it did help. It did help a little. Okay, so this is basically what we've got, and this is going to help when we go to cut our piece. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to, on this one that has the little 1/2 inch on the top, we're going to determine which one is going to be the side. Let's see, we are going to get rid of, let's see, what we're going to do is we're going to cut down there, and we're going to cut off these top 2 rectangles, and we are going to leave behind, we are determining that, oh, I maybe shouldn't have done that. Ah! Oh no! Oh, that's okay. You know what? You don't have to have those tabs. Now, you could have left this little tab here as a little fold-in tab, but you also don't have to. I don't think I actually did on my other ones. I think it's just more work. Okay, so yeah, I did. No harm, no foul. Okay, so we're just going to leave one of these 1 inches and one of these 1/2 inches, and we're going to cut the rest of it off, okay? And that is going to be our top. And I'm just cutting this roughly. Oh yeah, we're cutting that whole thing off. All right, so here's what we have. All we're leaving is this 1 inch and this 1/2 inch up at the top, and we've trimmed off all this and all this. Okay, so this is going to be where our box folds over. So let's go ahead and we're going to, on these bottom ones, we are just going to cut a little bit to the right and a little bit to the left, okay? Now I want you to see what I cut. Do you see that little sliver in the center? It's just a tiny little sliver, and I just fold it to the back, and you can either rip it off or cut it off, whatever you want. And so you see, we're just taking out a sliver out of that, and we're going to do that for these little squares on the bottom. And we're going to do this one, and we only need these two that are on either side of this is our main section. Ooh, it is really not digging the green, is it? It keeps on getting blurry. Okay, so I'm just going to pull these off because you're not going to see them. And over here, we are just going to cut this one off because we only need 2 tabs. So this one that does not have the top. Okay, so there we go. This is what we need. And we need a camera that focuses. Okay, so this is what we need, guys. All right, so what we're going to do is we are going to start folding on our creases, and we're just going to fold all of those over. Okay, we've got those, and go ahead and straighten those out. So now we can do the horizontal ones, and we're just going to fold those up, fold this down, and fold this down. Okay, and let's see, did I round any of this? I did round the top of this, so let's go ahead and round those over. I'm going to use my my cute little EK Success corner rounders. I love these little guys. They're my favorite. I've broke so many of them from Paper Studio. Let's see, I'm using the 1 inch one here, which is quite a nice rounder, and I'm just going to round that little top flap, the very first one that we cut around. So I'm going to round that down there, and I'm going to leave the bottom square. I've rounded them before on the bottom, but I don't think there's really any benefit to it. So let's get rid of our scoreboard. It looks like our measurements were correct. Yay. And I am going to, now you can use your score tape, you can use glue, you can use whatever you'd like, but just to prove to you that I don't hate score tape and ATG, I am going to use it. What do you think of that? Okay, so I used a little bit of ATG. If you go off the edges, just round it back. You can get it out of the way real easy. And let's see, I also want to add some glue to, or some tape to these little tabs. Okay, and again, these kind of went over, so I'm just going to pull them back and get them out of the way, get them up on what I want them. And then also on this other side, I'm going to add some adhesive there. And so I probably should go ahead and try to erase. Who knows, maybe I will use this. You know, I hate to waste paper, so let's see if you can erase that without damaging the paper. And it looks like it's working okay. It'd be nice to be able to use this box. I might be able to find somebody who actually wants it. So let's go ahead and try to erase my pencil marks. That made it so that you guys won't be doing the pencil marks, of course, because I only put that on there in order for you guys to be able to see, you know, in the recording where I was scoring. Okay, so let me get rid of my eraser mess. Yeah, you should probably do that before you put on the ATG. It likes to stick in there. Okay, so I'm going to look real quick. Let's see. Oh, Amy Mitchell, it's good to see you. I am uniquely perfect is here. Welcome. Let's see. Uh, okay. Bye, Miss G. It's good to see you. Thank you so much. Yes, yes. I hope you give the time you will do your next live show. Yes, I will. At the end of this show, I will tell you when I will be on again. It's probably, you guys go ahead and leave me messages and let me know what times work for you. I might be able to sneak in a little show in the middle of the week, you know, during the day, if any of you are available. It just depends on who's available. And who's going to be able to tune in during the week. So if there's enough of an audience during the week, I wouldn't mind doing a little show midweek during the afternoon, which would be really good for the people in the UK because, you know, if we do them in the evening, then it's really early in the morning for them. But yeah, I'd like to do one of them on the weekend again, you know, probably next Sunday at noon. But I will go ahead and I will just check all the comments on my latest videos, and I will make sure that I say exactly when it's going to be in my latest video. So just check the comments of my videos, and you'll see it in there somewhere. So, okay, let's see. Yes, I think I am going to go ahead and leave the video up. You know, it's not too awful bad. Let's see. All right, so we've got our adhesives. We've got them over here. You can see our little shine here. We've got a little bit down here. We've got them right here and right here. Okay, and so what we're going to do is we are going to fold this over. Okay, so we've got our adhesive right here. We're just going to fold this over, and the easiest way to put these together is to fold this flat on top of there. Okay, don't try to make a box and put it together. This is the easiest way to put this long side together. And you're going to fold it back, okay, and then we're going to, I've got to kind of get these out of the way. We're going to push our little tabs down. You see we've got our adhesives on our two little tabs. And you're going to push down the one that has adhesive on it, okay? And you're going to glue those to that. And we put adhesive on this one so that we could glue this one to that one. And let's just go ahead and burnish that down. And what I like to do is I like to take my little Timmy ruler, or, you know, here, you can take your Timmy ruler and you can kind of stick it down in there and kind of push that down if you have a long enough bone folder, or like this. This is a nice long one, and it's got a nice rounded edge, so I can just reach down in there and I can burnish it from here without flattening out my box. And so we're getting that. Now this is, I think this would be just fine to use, you know, the ATG on. So let's go ahead and test her out and find out how our little booklet fits in there. And yay, we got our measurements right. See, I actually do know how to do math. I think I just have to, my nerves kind of get the better of me here and there. Okay, so there we have our little card box. And how cute would this be with some paper on there? Super, super cute. So you could have your little Valentine or your little St. Patty's Day picture. You know, we don't have a lot of pictures for St. Patrick's Day. I think maybe I did more sections on this one than I did on the last. So let's see if we wrap it around like this. Okay, so imagine this. Okay, where's our little clippies? I thought I had some little clips. Let's see. So let me find some clips. Okay, so I've got, isn't this cute? This came from like the office supply store. Are those cute? I just love these. So I've got my colored coded. Let's go ahead and use a green to go with it. And so what you can do is you can overlap these, and you just put that on there, and then you can see if you mess with it, you can get a pretty nice little star pattern, which can go on your desk. And if you turn it up like this, you could see how you could see all of your pictures all at once. So it can really be for display, and this would be how you would gift it. And you know, you could just set that to the side and have your little display like this. How cute, right? Super cute. And you, of course, these are something that's really good to give to people that you don't know if they're going to throw it away or if they actually appreciate the time. And you know, the people that think that just because it's handcrafted means that it's cheap, which is anybody who's stepped foot into a craft store, let alone a scrapbook boutique, a local scrapbook store, knows that just because it's handmade definitely does not mean that it's inexpensive or that it's cheap. It's actually the complete opposite. So this is a really good thing because it's not a lot of time investment. You know, we only use 2 sheets of paper here and 1 sheet of paper here. And you know, you could throw down pictures. You can use paperweight paper on this, and you know, you can kind of de-stash on these kind of projects, and it wouldn't take much paper. And of course, I would probably, like on my other ones, I would put paper on both sides. I would put paper on both sides, and again, we got buried here. So this is some of the paper. Let me go and check the comments. These are the ones I already cut. So you guys get the idea. And you know, if you were done looking at this side and you wanted to rotate it, you know, you just have to flip it around again and kind of put it together, and you know, and it that way, you know, and you just kind of mess with your star, and there you go. So easy breezy, lemon squeezy. So there we go, and then you have your little storage container right there. You know, I'm going to have to find a way to make this out of chipboard, right? I mean, it wouldn't be very difficult. It'd be harder to do it than out of paper, but completely doable. I'm so addicted to chipboard. So let me check the comments. We still have some viewers on. I want to make sure you guys are still seeing me. Let's see, I put a pocket on the front of the box to clip the clip. I think that is a really cute idea, to put a little pocket here. If you put a little pocket here and you had a little, you could put your little to from tag right there, and then you can attach this little paper clip right on the edge or right on the to from as part of the decoration, however you wanted to do it. You could also take, you know, a little piece of ribbon. You know how they put the little ribbon on the top of the paper clips. You could put that on the top of the tag, and then you could use that paper clip to hold the little album together. So that would be adorable. That's a really good idea. Great card box and album. Thank you, Tanya. Oh, good, Kate. You like it. Okay. Jordy Angel's still here. She likes it too. Very good. Timmy Ruler. Yeah, you gotta love the Timmy Ruler. But the only thing I don't like about that Timmy Ruler is look at this poor dude. He's been through the ringer, and I am so disappointed. I mean, he's almost unusable. Look at how much is missing. You see how much I've used him. And I keep on going to buy another one, but I know that I'm going to use the heck out of him, and the next one's going to do the same thing. So I'm really hoping that when I go to Expo, that I am able to find the new EK Success or the new Martha Stewart, which I believe they are etched on the back, and they're not going to rub off like this, you know. And I think why this happens is probably because of the oils in your skin. You know, they get on there and then they just rub, and any kind of moisture, you know, makes these little black lines come off over time. And so I hate to buy another one when I know that the same thing's going to happen. You know, I really want a metal etched ruler that is clear and has, you know, the every 1/8 of an inch marks, but that is etched. And so yes, I want the best of all worlds, and I don't mind paying extra for that. So thank you so much. I am uniquely perfect. And yes, I am going to put the video. Okay, I think I see. Okay, yeah, we're going to leave this one up because we did end up with a decent finished project. And so, yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to do that. let's see. So we are at about an hour and 23 minutes, and so we're going to go for like another 7 minutes, and probably call it good, so I can get back to my little man. My husband's taking care of him, and they're probably watching some adorable cartoon. Oh, you know, I did want to show you guys this. I have 2 sets here. I want to give you a little bit of an idea of how to, oh, this is going to be so cute. So on this, I have 2 of them ready here. So where are ya? Is this the one? Yes, this is the one. Okay, so this one right here, I have already cut to fit, and I've already cut these pieces up, and this is from the Basil paper line. This is called, I think, Northern Pine. And so I've already got all of these pieces cut and rounded and inked up with a little bit of walnut stain. And then I cut these little pieces and I stamped them. And this is actually stamped 3 times because this stamp is very small. It's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines. And so I had to stamp each one of them 3 times. But how cute is this stamp? That is, I think, you guys are probably going to want to know what that stamp is because that's just stinking adorable. So I did it in a few different shades here. We have 5 different colors here. Let me see if I can find it. I'm not a big stamper, and I'm not really great at it, but I do enjoy it. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see. I think I put it over here. So I'm using it. Okay, that's not in there. Is it in here? Yeah, I think so. Here it is. I found it. It is Stampology. Okay, and this is by Autumn Leaves, and I'm sorry, I'm going to try not to get any glare, but it's this one right here. So yeah, I'm going to get glare if I do that. But look at how great these are. Who, What, Where, and When. I love this stamp set. I believe I got this one on eBay. This one is called For the Record 3. It's got a 12-piece by Katie Pertit. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. But it is called, let's see, For the Record 3. Yes, by Autumn Leaves. So, great set. For journaling. I love journaling stamps. Love them. They're so awesome. Okay, so this one is going to go on this set, and I also had another one. Is this our larger set? This is our larger set, I believe. And so I have this one. This is from Paperweight Paper. Oh no, you know, I know what this one's from. It is Paperweight, but it's from this little stack here. Let's see. It's from this little stack here, which I was able to pick up at Tuesday morning for $1.50, and these are 5x7 pieces, and it's paperweight, but they're really cute. So, anyway, so that's where that came from. And so these are already cut, and I had planned to have this, to do this video for you guys, but I just never took the time, and so it was actually a good one to put these together. So you can see here how cute that would be. You see how they just frame out? And I just brought them in. What I did, if you see when I line this up, when I line this all the way up to the corner, I got a 1/4 inch here and a 1/4 inch here. So whatever your picture size is, if you take off a 1/4 inch off of the top and a 1/4 off the side, then you end up with your 1/8 inch border. So it's really easy to figure out your matting. And so I have all the pieces done, lots of pieces here to go all the way around. And then for the outside of the box, I have taken some of the paper. And on this one, I think this is to go on the bottom. This is to go on the bottom here. You can see how I completely cut it to fit. And I rounded the corners, and it doesn't cover exactly to the corners, but you know what? It's close enough for me. And so what I did was And this is one thing that score tape is wonderful for. Glue is not going to stick to metal, but score tape is. It's going to stick really well to metal. I know you can use like E6000 is going to stick it, but wow, I'm so not using E6000 on a big project because it would just be like an oozing mess. It'd just be too hard to deal with. So this one's going to go on the top. How cute, right? Isn't that going to be cute? Love that. And let's see, what else do we got? So that's that set, and we have our Northern Pine set. And oh, and I had used, here's an example of, I put cork in here, and this is that sticky back cork, and that's from Die Cuts with a View. Super cute stuff. How fun is that? And again, I just rounded the corners and just stuck it down in there. And on the inside here, you can see I added a 1/2 inch score tape in there. And I went all the way around the sides, and then I put glitter in there, and I just rubbed it in there with my fingers and, you know, hit it all out. Now, I did all of this. I added this cork after I did the glitter because you want to make sure all that glitter's out before you put your final stuff on there. And on this one, I put the cork on the back side as well. And then here, I added a 1/2 inch and I think a 1/4 inch. So because we have almost 3/4 of an inch here, and I don't have 3/4 inch score tape, and so what I did was I just you know, layered them up, and I went around, pulled off the tape, and rubbed in my glitter. And if you rub it in there really well, it stays on there pretty well. It's pretty neat, and so you can really decorate up your box. Now, the one thing I do want to caution you, because I made this mistake, is that whether your piece is attached or not, whether the lid is attached or if it comes off completely, like one of these tins, what you do want to make sure you don't do is you do not want to, okay, on this one was actually supposed to be different. This was supposed to be standing up like this, and I hadn't figured out, ooh, cotton ball, I hadn't figured out exactly how I wanted to display this. This is going to be kind of a diorama type one, and that's why it has the holes in the brads that go through. So it sits up like this. So yeah, it's like that. How does it go? Yeah, like that. So I haven't figured this one out, but I went all the way to the top on that, and you don't want to do that if you ever want to be able to put your top back on, because look at this. Okay, so if I try to get this top back on, that glitter and all that sticky tape is going to get in the way, and this top is never going to want to fit back on there without messing up all that glitter and all that score tape. So what you have to do is you have to apply your score tape with your top on and closed tight, and that's when you add on your score tape and you rub in your glitter. Because where it closes, it's a nearly perfect fit. So you can't put anything on that inside line here. The inside piece here you can see is bare, and that top piece there is bare. So wherever those things line up, don't put any kind of score tape or paper or any of that. Otherwise, it's not going to fit together right. Let's see. Let's see. I'm going to check comments. I haven't checked them in a while. Let's see. Yes, the stamp set's great. Love the stamp set. Me too. Let's see. Let's see. I will be trying that around. Oh, good, good, Gloria. You're going to be trying it out. Good. Let's see here. Where did I leave off? Let's see. Timmy Ruler, well, let's see. Love the idea. Put a pocket on the front. Yeah, we went. That's just got on. It looks like it's going to be a great album. Yes, Gloria, we're going to leave this up. So, all those wallet photos, that's right. It's great for wallet photos, and it's good, yeah, for all of the little teeny pictures, the little school pictures. Oh, and Instagram would fit in here, too. So let's see. Got to try it. Use a sheet of laminate on the back to protect the lettering. Lettering. To protect the lettering. I'm not following that, Gloria, but that's, that's probably just me. If you buy another, just lay down some clear shelf liner. If I buy another one. I think I missed that one. From Luxury Card Store. I'm not sure. Boy, I'm not following that. If you could elaborate on that, I'm not sure how I missed that. Let's see. Tins are my favorite. Oh, yeah, I love the tins. Love the tins. Okay, so is there any other questions that you guys have? We've been going for like an hour and a half now, so I think, do you guys have any preference as to when do you guys, when would you like the next show? Because, we might be able to sneak in an hour, like I said, an hour during the week in the afternoon, and, maybe an hour on Sundays. Of course, that would have to be tentative to my sweet boy and my husband and classes and whatnot. So that would be, well, they would all have to be tentative because my life is just kind of crazy. So what works for you guys? What would you guys like to see as far as times? Oh, protecting the lettering on the bottom of the rulers. That's actually a good idea. Okay, I see what you're talking about now. Very good. So if you used a clear, if you use the clear shelf liner, that's actually a really good idea. Y'all are so smart. I'm completely following it now. I started rambling and I couldn't even remember where I started, girl. That's a really good idea. Okay, so if I don't find those new rulers, and you know what, probably even if I do, the next Timmy ruler that I buy, I am going to put the clear shelf liner on the back of it, and we are going to test that out. We are going to test out that theory. Unless you guys have already done it. Have any of you guys done that? Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, for the ruler. God, you guys are so smart. See, look, and I'm walking away with something. I love that. Yay! Sunday and any time in the week if possible. Yeah, I think we might be able to like tentatively shoot for Wednesday, and just keep an eye on YouTube, and if you subscribe and you get, I think you can get emails. I think you get emails when you post, or you can get emails when anybody posts, which could be quite a few posts. Oh, that's glaring in your face. Sorry. But check the comments. I'm thinking what would probably work best for me would be on, like, Wednesday at noon, and Sunday at noon. And so let's go ahead and try that. If you guys want to, it seems like you guys are liking doing it, so let's go ahead and give it a whirl. Let's see. Let me refresh and see your thoughts. Oh, good, Kate. Anytime's good for you. Okay, Luxury Card Store. She did it on her quilting ruler. Yes, I used to do a little bit of quilting, and I love my Olfa, and I'm always worried about, I do have a little area down here where it's come off, and I was very concerned about that. So you know what? I am putting that on this today because this is the one that has the lip on it. And so it's neat because, it always squares itself up. And I love this thing, and I can't find this anymore. See how it's got this edge on it? Any of you quilters are probably familiar with that edge, but it's the lip edge ruler. And now it doesn't have the metal edge, so you got to be really careful about, chunking into it. You really need to be using the rotary blades, which that's another good way to cut your chipboard too. If you guys don't already, if you didn't already know that, I have, it is in here somewhere. It gets buried because I don't really use my, oh, here it is. Here is my, so here's my rotary, and you know it's got the little safety on there, and so this is the one that's good. You can absolutely cut chipboard with this. So I like, and this is a good one too. This one, I know some people have used ones that when they push hard, like for chipboard, which you have to push pretty hard, that it keeps on retracting. But mine has never, and I push pretty hard on it. But I do like this Fiskars, and this is, I've had this for years because I did sewing and quilting and you know, you name it. I've done so many different kinds of crafting, you know, as so many of us have. But yeah, you definitely want to use one of these and not an X-Acto. Otherwise, you're going to just chunk into little by little. You know, all it takes is getting your angle just a little bit off, and you're going to take little chunks out of your acrylic. But I am putting on, I have clear contact paper, and I'm putting it on this ruler for sure. I don't think this one is salvageable. This one's it's pretty much gone. But I don't know. I might throw it on there anyways. Let me check. Let's see here. Okay, good. Thank you so much, everybody. Ah, you'll book me in. Thank you, Jordy Angel. Thank you, I'm Uniquely Perfect. And Kate McMillan, Luxury Card Store. Okay, so you did it on your ruler. I am doing that, ladies. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and sign off now, and I am just going to tell you that I will see you tentatively Wednesday at noon, and that will be Central Standard Time. And just for reference, it is 1:40 p.m. right now, Central Standard Time. So you can go ahead and do the math to figure that out or look it up. But we're going to try to do Wednesday at noon Central Standard Time. And so we will see you guys then. Tune in if you can. And, you know, hopefully it won't be a complete disaster, and I will save the recording. But I can't make any promises, because if I look like an absolute fool, I am going to totally delete the video, and there's just no two ways about that, ladies. So anyways, I'm just going to go ahead and clean up while you guys wait to hear this message, because it's going to take like 30 to 60 seconds, and so I'm just going to goof off for the next minute putting everything up. Thanks for watching. Bye.